Do you know what's so strange about Generation X? No one really talks about them. Baby boomers are blamed for everything. Millennials are crammed into internet culture. Gen Z is analysed daily, as if they were some kind of massive social experiment. But Generation X, they've somehow disappeared from view. And frankly, that's perfectly in keeping with their psychology. Generation X, born roughly between 1965 and 1980, grew up during a strange period in history. The old world was fading away, but the digital world hadn't arrived yet. They lived through both realities, and that shaped them in ways most people don't fully understand. Generation X was the generation of empty houses and working parents. Millions of them walked home from school alone every day. No smartphones, no text messages, no constant supervision. You walked home, opened the door yourself, cooked, and waited. That kind of childhood changes people psychologically. You learn independence early, sometimes too early. Generation X learned to solve problems on their own because they often had no other choice. Years later, self-reliance wasn't a skill, it was a survival imperative. That's why Generation X seems more emotionally reserved than younger generations. Showing vulnerability wasn't encouraged. They dealt with problems discreetly. They coped. They moved on. As they grew up, they watched stability slip away. Divorce rates soared. Layoffs became commonplace. Political scandals shattered trust and authority. The older generation kept saying, "Work hard and things will get better," while life clearly wasn't going well for many around them. So Generation X adapted differently. They stopped expecting permanence. That's why many Generation X members sometimes seem skeptical. Not because they're negative, but because they learned early on that things can disappear overnight. Jobs disappear. Relationships disappear. Promises disappear. So psychologically, they became prepared for instability. And frankly, this is why Generation X often remains calmer during times of turmoil than other generations. They feel that crises are familiar to them. But this strength also comes with a hidden downside. Many Generation X members find it difficult to ask for help because relying on others feels uncomfortable after spending their childhood learning to be self-reliant. And you can still see this mindset online. Generation X grew up before social media turned life into a spectacle. Privacy is second nature to them. For them, not every emotion needs an audience. They remember boredom, silence, the feeling of being unreachable. And perhaps this is why they feel so different from modern internet culture. They have become the bridge between the analog world and the digital world, and bridges rarely get the attention they deserve. They silently bear the burden while everyone else walks over them. And frankly, this might be the defining characteristic of Generation X.